Hello and welcome back to the channel. I want you to picture a scenario that might feel all too familiar to you. You wake up in the morning and before your feet even hit the floor, you feel it. That stiffness in your fingers, the dull ache in your knees, the resistance in your hips. You've been doing everything right, or at least everything you've been told to do. You've cut out the junk food. You're staying away from processed sugars. You are eating your vegetables, just like every doctor, nutritionist, and health magazine has advised you to do for decades. You are trying to be healthy. So, why does the pain keep getting worse? Why does the inflammation seem to flare up, seemingly out of nowhere, on days when you've been strictly following a healthy diet? Here is the uncomfortable truth that very few people are talking about. Not all vegetables are created equal, and for those of us dealing with joint pain, arthritis, or chronic inflammation, some of the so-called healthiest foods in the supermarket might actually be your hidden enemies. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? We are conditioned to believe that if it grew from the ground, it must be good for us. But today, we are going to challenge that belief. We are going to look at the hidden danger diet. We are going to uncover 5 specific vegetables that are staples in almost every household foods, that are packed with vitamins and minerals, but that contain specific chemical compounds that can trigger a biological war inside your joints. If you have been suffering from unexplained stiffness, if your arthritis seems to have a mind of its own, or if you just want to optimize your body to age without pain, you need to watch this video until the very end. We aren't just going to list these foods. We are going to explain the biochemistry of why they hurt you, how to test if you are sensitive to them, and most importantly, what delicious anti-inflammatory alternatives you should be eating instead to finally put out the fire in your joints. Let's start by understanding the mechanism here. Why would a vegetable hurt you? To understand this, we have to look at plants from an evolutionary perspective. Animals can run away from predators. They have teeth and claws to defend themselves. Plants, they are stuck in the ground. They cannot run, they cannot hide. So, over millions of years, plants developed their own form of chemical warfare to stop insects and animals from eating them. They produce natural pesticides, compounds designed to irritate, poison, or deter predators. For the vast majority of people with robust digestive systems and low inflammation levels, these compounds are harmless. Our bodies can filter them out easily. But if you are struggling with an autoimmune condition, leaky gut, or age-related joint deterioration, your defense barriers might be down. These chemical compounds can cross into your bloodstream, trigger an immune response, and settle exactly where you don't want them, in your joints. The first group of vegetables we need to talk about is the nightshade family. You might have heard this term thrown around, but do you really know what it means? Nightshades belong to the Solanaceae family of plants. In medieval times, some of these plants were used as poisons. Today, the edible versions are the cornerstone of the modern diet, but they all contain a glycoalkaloid poison called solanine. This brings us to vegetable number 1, the tomato. I know, this is a hard one to hear. Tomatoes are everywhere. Pasta sauce, salads, salsa, ketchup, soups. They are rich in lycopene, which is great for heart health. But for someone with arthritis, the tomato is a double-edged sword. Tomatoes are one of the richest sources of solanine and another compound called tomatine. In sensitive individuals, these alkaloids are thought to increase intestinal permeability, often called leaky gut. When your gut barrier becomes permeable, proteins and compounds that should stay in your digestive tract leak into your bloodstream. Your immune system sees these invaders, marks them as threats, and launches an attack. This attack manifests as systemic inflammation. Furthermore, some researchers believe that solanine can interfere with the enzymes in your muscles, leading to pain and stiffness. There is also anecdotal evidence suggesting that these alkaloids may alter calcium metabolism, potentially leading to calcium deposits in soft tissues. Think about that for a second. If you are eating a caprese salad every day thinking you are doing your body a favor, but you notice your knuckles are throbbing 3 hours later, it might not be the weather. It might be the tomatoes. Now, let's move to vegetable number 2, which is often grouped with tomatoes in the kitchen, but brings its own set of problems. The white potato. Now, I want to be specific here. We are talking about standard white potatoes, russets, Yukons, the kinds you use for mashed potatoes or French fries. We are not talking about sweet potatoes, which we will get to later as a safe alternative. White potatoes are a nightshade. They contain high levels of solanine, especially in the skin and just underneath it. Have you ever seen a potato turn slightly green? That green tint is actually chlorophyll, but it indicates a massive spike in solanine concentration. Eating a green potato can be toxic even to a healthy person. But even in a normal, non-green potato, the solanine content is enough to trigger joint pain in those with sensitivity. But the potato has a second weapon against your joints: high glycemic index. White potatoes turn to sugar glucose in your bloodstream remarkably fast. This rapid spike in blood sugar triggers a spike in insulin. Chronically high insulin levels are a direct pro-inflammatory signal to the body. If you are battling arthritis, sugar is the fuel for the fire. When you eat a baked potato, you are getting a hit of solanine coupled with a massive blood sugar spike. It is a 1-2 punch that can leave your joints aching for days. This leads us to vegetable number 3, the eggplant. Eggplant is a staple in Mediterranean and vegetarian diets. It's meaty, it absorbs flavor, and it seems like the perfect meat substitute. However, eggplant is chemically very potent. It has one of the highest concentrations of alkaloids in the entire nightshade edible family. For many of my clients who suffer from osteoarthritis or rheumatoid arthritis, eggplant acts as a major flare trigger. The reaction is often delayed, which makes it hidden. You might eat eggplant parmesan on Tuesday and not feel the crippling stiffness until Thursday morning. Because of that time lag, you never associate the pain with the meal. You blame the rain, or you blame your mattress. But if we look at your diet log, the eggplant is the culprit. If you are serious about eliminating joint pain, try removing eggplant for 14 days. You might be shocked at how much lighter your movement feels. Vegetable number 4 is a heavy hitter: peppers. This includes bell peppers, capsicums, jalapenos, chili peppers, cayenne, and paprika. Now, this is controversial because peppers contain capsaicin. You might have seen capsaicin creams at the pharmacy used topically to relieve pain. And it's true, when applied to the skin, capsaicin can deplete substance P, a neurotransmitter that sends pain signals. However, eating nightshade peppers is a different biological process. For those with autoimmune issues, the proteins in peppers can mimic the structure of our own body tissues. This is a concept called molecular mimicry. Your immune system attacks the pepper proteins, but because your joint tissues look similar on a molecular level, the immune system gets confused and attacks your joints too. Also, consider the spice factor. Hot peppers irritate the lining of the gut. If you already have inflammation, throwing spicy chili peppers into the mix is like throwing gasoline on a fire. Even the sweet bell peppers possess the solanine compound. I've seen countless people who eat stuffed peppers as a healthy, low-carb meal who cannot make a fist the next day. If that sounds like you, it is time to look at the peppers. Now, we are going to pivot. We are leaving the nightshades and moving to a completely different chemical category. This brings us to vegetable number 5, and this is the one that shocks people the most. It is the poster child for healthy eating. Popeye ate it. It's in every green smoothie recipe. It is spinach. Wait, spinach? How can spinach be bad for you? Spinach is loaded with iron and vitamins, yes. But spinach is also one of the highest sources of a compound called oxalate, or oxalic acid. Oxalates are organic acids found in plants. In the human body, oxalates function as an anti-nutrient. They bind to minerals, specifically calcium. When oxalate binds to calcium, it forms calcium oxalate crystals. If you have ever had a kidney stone, you know exactly what this feels like: sharp, jagged crystals passing through sensitive tissue. The vast majority of kidney stones are calcium oxalate. But here's what people don't realize. Those crystals don't just form in the kidneys. In people who have trouble metabolizing oxalates, a condition often linked to poor gut health or antibiotic use, these microcrystals can deposit in the joints, the tendons, and the soft tissues. This creates a mechanical irritation. Imagine throwing a handful of crushed glass into a well-oiled machine. That is what oxalate crystals do to your joints. A condition called pseudo-gout is actually caused by crystal deposition in the joints. It mimics gout, but it's not uric acid, it's calcium crystals. If you are drinking a green smoothie every morning with 3 cups of raw spinach, you are ingesting a massive oxalate bomb. You might be thinking you are detoxing, but you might actually be overloading your system with sharp crystals that settle in your old injuries and cause chronic pain. Other high oxalate greens include Swiss chard and beet greens. Cooking them helps reduce the oxalate slightly, but for a sensitive person, it is often not enough. So where does this leave us? I've just told you that tomatoes, potatoes, eggplants, peppers, and spinach, the core of a healthy salad, might be hurting you. Does this mean you should stop eating vegetables? Absolutely not. This is where we need to be smart. We need to swap the inflammatory 5 for the anti-inflammatory champions. The goal is to keep the nutrition but lose the toxins. Let's go through the swaps. Instead of white potatoes, I want you to switch to sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are botanically different. They are not nightshades. They are packed with vitamin A and beta-carotene, which are powerful antioxidants that help fight inflammation. They have a lower glycemic load and are rich in fiber. You get that comforting, starchy texture without the solanine poison. Instead of spinach, switch to cruciferous vegetables or low oxalate greens. Think arugula, romaine, lettuce, or massaged kale. Even better, look at broccoli and cauliflower. These vegetables contain sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is a superstar compound that blocks enzymes that cause joint destruction and inflammation. It protects the cartilage, so trade your spinach smoothie for a side of roasted broccoli with lemon. Instead of tomatoes, this is the hardest one for flavor, but you can use heavy amounts of fresh herbs like basil, oregano, and thyme. These herbs are anti-inflammatory powerhouses. If you need that acidic kick in a salad, use lemon juice or apple cider vinegar. If you are looking for a sauce, try a tomato sauce made from beets, carrots, and onions. It mimics the color and sweetness of marinara without the nightshade trigger. Instead of peppers, use ginger and turmeric. If you are looking for heat, ginger provides a spicy kick, but it is one of the most potent anti-inflammatory roots on the planet. Turmeric contains curcumin, which has been proven in studies to rival ibuprofen for pain relief. Use black pepper, which ironically is not a nightshade, to activate the turmeric. Now, I want to address a very important question. Does this apply to everyone? The answer is no. This is what we call bio-individuality. Some people can eat tomatoes every day until they are 100 years old and run marathons. Others eat one slice of pizza and can't walk the next day. The difference lies in your gut health, your genetics, and your current level of systemic inflammation. So, how do you know if you are one of the sensitive ones? You have to become your own detective. You cannot rely on a blood test for this. Food sensitivity tests are notoriously inaccurate. The gold standard is the elimination diet. Here's the challenge I have for you. It is simple, it is free, and it is more effective than any pill. I want you to commit to a 30-day nightshade and oxalate holiday. For 30 days, completely remove tomatoes, white potatoes, peppers, eggplant, and spinach from your diet. Read the labels. Check your spice blends for paprika or cayenne. Be strict. It's only 4 weeks. During these 30 days, keep a simple journal. Rate your joint pain on a scale of 1 to 10 every morning. Note how well you sleep. Note your energy levels. Here is what usually happens. For the first few days, you might not feel much difference. By day 10, the fog starts to lift. By day 20, you wake up and realize you walked down the stairs without holding the railing. By day 30, you feel like a new person. Once the 30 days are up, this is the crucial part. Reintroduction. Pick one vegetable, let's say tomatoes. Eat a big serving of tomatoes on day 31. Then stop. Wait for 48 hours. Watch your body like a hawk. Did the pain come back? Did your fingers swell? If nothing happens, congratulations. Tomatoes are safe for you. If the pain returns with a vengeance, you have your answer. You have identified a trigger that was keeping you in chronic pain. I want to talk briefly about preparation because it matters. If you absolutely cannot give up these foods, there are traditional ways to reduce their toxicity. Peeling your potatoes removes the highest concentration of solanine. Cooking spinach boils out some of the oxalates, but make sure you throw away the cooking water, don't drink it. Fermenting peppers can break down some of the irritating proteins. Our ancestors knew this. That's why traditional cultures often peeled, fermented, or long cooked these vegetables. They knew intuitively what science is just now confirming. But if you are in acute pain right now, if your quality of life is suffering, modulation isn't enough. You need elimination. You need to put the fire out before you can worry about rebuilding the house. Let's also discuss the role of fats in this equation. When you remove these inflammatory vegetables, you should replace them with high-quality omega-3 fats. Wild-caught salmon, walnuts, chia seeds, and high-quality olive oil. Omega-3 seconds are the direct antidote to inflammation. They produce resolvins molecules that actively resolve the inflammatory process. A dinner of baked salmon, omega-3 seconds, with roasted sweet potatoes, safe starch, and steamed broccoli, sulforaphane, is literally medicine on a plate for an arthritic body. It is easy to feel deprived when you start cutting foods out. We have an emotional attachment to our food. But I love my spicy salsa. I can't live without mashed potatoes. I understand that, but ask yourself this. Do you love the salsa more than you love being able to play with your grandkids? Do you love the mashed potatoes more than you love sleeping through the night without pain? Food is meant to fuel us, not fight us. When you constantly feed your body things that trigger an immune response, you are keeping your body in a state of chronic emergency. Your body is so busy fighting the tomato lectins and the oxalate crystals that it has no energy left to repair your cartilage or lubricate your joints. Give your body a break. Give it a vacation from the war. I also want to touch on the healthy trap. Marketing has done a number on us. We see veggie chips in the store and think it's a health food. Turn the bag over. It's potato flour, spinach powder, and tomato powder. It is a concentrated dose of everything we just discussed, usually fried in inflammatory seed oils. Processed, healthy foods are often the worst offenders. Stick to whole foods that you peel and chop yourself. Real food doesn't have ingredients. It is ingredients. Let's review the hidden danger list one more time so it sticks. Tomatoes, nightshade trigger, gut irritant. White potatoes, solanine plus high blood sugar spike. High alkaloid concentration. Peppers, capsaicin irritation and molecular mimicry. Spinach, high oxalate crystals that lodge in joints. If you are skeptical, that is good. You should be skeptical. Don't take my word for it. Listen to your body. Your body is the most honest doctor you will ever have. It tells you exactly what is wrong. We just often refuse to listen to the language of symptoms. We take a pill to silence the symptom, and then we keep eating the food that caused it. Stop silencing the messenger. There is a massive community of people who have reversed their chronic pain simply by changing what is on their fork. It's not magic. It's biology. By lowering your total inflammatory load, you lower the threshold for pain. I want to leave you with this thought. You are not destined to get weaker and more painful as you age. That is a myth we have accepted as normal. It is common, but it is not normal. You have the power to change your trajectory. It might start with something as simple as saying no to the peppers and yes to the sweet potatoes. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever noticed a correlation between what you eat and how your joints feel? Have you ever tried cutting out nightshades? And if so, what happened? The comment section below is a great place to share your experiences because your story might be the motivation someone else needs to finally try this. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. It helps us spread this message to other people who are suffering in silence. And if you want to dive deeper into anti-inflammatory eating, I have a specific protocol for that. Would you like me to create a video specifically on the 3 spices that kill pain faster than pills? If so, let me know in the comments. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. We'll see you in the next video.